Okay, fifth grade. So for the rest of the week, for Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be practicing adding and subtracting decimals. So on slide number 10, you actually have this step and this example for you guys. So I'm going to add these numbers together. I'm going to read them out loud. This is 2 and 37 hundredths plus 4 and 259 thousandths. Okay, so we're going to add these numbers together. So the first step you have to do, I'm just going to write it right here. You're going to line up your decimal. So that's the first step I'm going to. I'm going to line up my decimal. So I'm going to bring 2 and 37 hundredths. And then I'm going to add 4 and 259 thousandths. So I want to make sure that decimal is lined up. So I have 4 and notice how the decimals are lined. 259 thousandths. Okay. Now the second step is you need to add a 0 to the right. As needed. So what that means is, I'm just going to underline this in purple. What that means is right here I have 2 and 37 hundredths, and then I have 4 and 259 thousandths. So here I have a space, and I'm going to add that 0 to fill in that placeholder. Okay, so that's what that 0 is going to do. So what I'm going to do is, just like if I were to add and subtract regular whole numbers, I'm going to do the same step. Okay, so I'm going to add everything like I normally would if it was a regular whole number. So what that means is I'm going to start adding from right to left. Okay, so I'm going to add right to left. So the lowest place value here, so I'm going to add 0 plus 9, 9. 7 plus 5 is 12. Regroup and bring my 1 to this next place value. 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 1 is 6. 2 plus 4, 6. Then the last step I'm going to do, I'm going to bring down my decimal. And bring down my decimal. So bring that decimal down. Okay. Now, when we're adding, subtracting, and dividing decimals, you literally just move your decimal up or down, wherever it is. The only time you're going to actually move your decimal in a different place is when you're multiplying. Okay, so when we start talking about multiplying decimals next week, I'm going to show you how that's a little bit different. Okay, so let's do another one together. This is on slide 11. So on slide 11, I have 18 minus 1 and 2/10. Okay, so I picked this example for a reason, because this is always some of the most common mistakes that students make. I'm going to line up my decimal. Okay, now when you have a whole number like 18, where is that decimal located? It's located right here. 18.0. Because if I did this, it still has the same value of 18. That decimal point, when you have whole numbers, it's right behind that last digit. Okay, so there's 18. When I move that, it still has the same value. So whenever you have just a whole number and there's no decimal there, you're going to have to put that decimal right behind. Okay. So I have 18.0, and I'm going to subtract this time. 1 and 2/10. Again, I'm going to line up my decimal, 1 and 2/10. So we're going to do a lot of practices like this because this is the most common things that a lot of students miss. So just like when I'm subtracting whole numbers, I'm going to do the same exact steps, right? Line up the decimals, put a 0 to the right as needed, which is what I needed here. This says add right to left. I'm going to subtract right to left. So I have 0 minus 2. Well, I can't do that, so I have to regroup. That means I'm going to go to the ones place, the 8. I'm going to take 7 ones, and I'm going to take a 1 over here, and now I have 7 left. And I'm going to bring it here. So now I can do 10 minus 2, 8. 7 minus 1, 6. 1 minus, well, there's nothing here, so I'm just going to bring down my 1. Now remember, the last step is to bring your decimal down. So I bring my decimal down there. Okay. Now you can check your work to make sure, and I want you to do this until you start to get the hang of it. If you're subtracting, I want you to check your work. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the difference, which was 16.8. 16.8. Then I want you to add the 1.2. Now, when I add these two numbers together, I should get 18. So I'm working backwards. So this way I subtracted. This way I'm going to add. And this is how I'm going to check my work. So when I add these, 8 plus 2 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. Bring my 1 down. Last step is to bring down your decimal. Now, this is how I can check my work. Because my answer here, when I added them together, I got 18. When I subtract 18 minus 1.2, I got 16.8. When I added 16.8 plus 1.2, I got 18. So this is how you can check your work. Okay. I want you to do the next one. I'm going to write it down for you. It is $5.24 minus $3. Okay. So I'm going to line up my decimals, $5.24 minus $3. Okay, so think of $3. So where is that decimal going to go? Behind. So I have $3, and I'm going to fill in those zeros here. And then I'm going to subtract. Okay, so I want you to subtract that one.